All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Stay Focused podcast. Today, I got a very special guest, someone I just ran across a few months ago, but I love his channel. He's already reacted to one of my songs. He'll post that description below. Aming Clear, a.k.a. Spiritual Lemonade. Y'all heard of Lyrical Lemonade? This is Spiritual Lemonade, man. So let's get into it, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Having a great day so far. Great week. Staying busy.
Obviously, I've been watching your channel for a little bit now. You've got almost, probably when this video comes out, you'll have over 300 videos of reactions posted.
Yeah.
So what got you into that? What got you doing the reaction videos?
So back in like 2019, I was listening to a lot of Christian rap. I was super into it. And at the time, I was watching a lot of secular like reactors on YouTube. Like I'm Dante, he's one of my favorites. And I was like, man, I want to do that, but like with the Christian rap that I like listening to. So it was about 2019, early 2020, kind of when COVID hit. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make some YouTube videos and I'm gonna react to some of my favorite Christian rap artists. And yeah, so like back in 2020, I think I was about 17 in 11th grade. I just had my iPhone. I was recording a video on my iPhone. And I think my first video was do you know who Ecleso is?
No, I don't.
He's a rapper from Florida.
Okay.
And he was one of my favorites at the time. Still is. I listened to him a lot. And he dropped a song called Wody. And that was my first reaction. And I had a nice little fan base on that old channel. It's not on the channel that I'm currently uploading on. But yeah, back in 2020, like that whole year I was recording videos and I loved it. Definitely not nearly as good as the videos I'm making now. But yeah, so I took a break after probably a year or so of doing it. And then immediately after I made a new channel, the Spiritual Lemonade channel. And just back in August is when I started really doing reactions again. So yeah,
and you're doing.
It's been a crazy journey.
You're really consistent. How many do you usually do a day, you think, on average?
It depends. When I first started back, I was doing only a few a week, and now it's to the point where I have the time and ability to record a lot more right now. So probably last month I was dropping almost 2 videos every day, which is a lot. And then, like the last few weeks, I've been doing just like 1 a day. I'm kind of trying to find a nice balance because I don't know if people get old or get tired of the videos every day, even 2 videos a day. So I'm still trying to figure out like what the schedule is going to be like, in the coming months and stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been doing right now. Just mostly once a day.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I see your grind. I'm subscribed to you, so I get your. I see whenever you post something new. So,
thank you.
I think I ran across your channel because, man, I was actually thinking about doing a reaction to an album or a song. I think it was a full album, and I wanted to see if anybody else was doing it. I was just looking for content for the channel, Christian content.
Yeah.
So I think I typed in like maybe Christian reaction video or something, and I think that's how I found your channel. And ever since then, I was like, okay. I was like, well, he got that on lock. Like, I might do some, but I might have you, like, react with me or something. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Collaboration thing. But once I saw you were doing it, I was like, all right, man, he's got his thing. I'm not going to do that, like, consistently as you. I might do it every now and then. But, yeah, man, it's definitely dope because, like, when you're looking for, there's a lot of artists that I'm not familiar with. I'm kind of new to the Christian hip-hop space.
Yeah.
I was very in the world. I was a secular artist. I was a positive artist, but I was secular. So I didn't listen to too much Christian hip hop. I listened to a lot of Christian R&B and soul music. But like as far as hip hop, like I knew a few artists like Lecrae and certain people that are probably in the the upper tier, I guess.
Yeah.
But like when you mentioned someone, I'm probably not familiar with them, at least not the name. I might have heard something by them. So kind of like watching your channel, man, to kind of see different artists. And I know people like that are undiscovered or, whatever, are sending you music to react to as well. So it's cool to see like new artists, and I'm kind of trying to get familiar with more people. So yeah, man, you got to keep doing it. You got to stay consistent with it. Don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. So I've been like telling people about you, because I'm out here in Austin, Texas, CHH Austin. So like I got a band of brothers, and I've told them about you. So hopefully they'll start sending you some stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm always looking to react to new stuff. Even on my old channel, like what I was known for on my first channel was I did this SoundCloud rapper series where I would just make like 20 to 30 minute video reacting to just a whole bunch of new SoundCloud rappers they were Christian rappers. But like that was, those were the videos that were getting all the views. Everyone seemed to like them. And so I've always had like a love for the underground Christian rap scene. So I try and be as tapped in as I can with that, which is why like most of the time I'll react like the first couple days from Friday through Sunday. Those are like the mainstream artists that I react to, like mainstream Christian rap artists like Caleb Gordon, Forrest Frank, like those guys I'm reacting to almost every week right now.
Right.
And the goal is like I get subscribers most of the time from all those videos. And then like as I grow the following, during the rest of the week, that's all the new artists. So it's just giving a chance for other people to hear new artists as well. And I love showing love to the underground, Christian rap scene. That's just what I feel called to do, is just listen to all the music that's out. So
yeah, just being a fan of Christian rap in general. And to give you, I'm gonna give you a special announcement. I haven't told anybody about this.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting together my first official Christian hip hop album. I've dropped a gospel album before, but not as a CHH artist, which I'm just now calling myself. And I just made a video on that. I haven't dropped it yet, but I got a single coming with 1K Few.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
So that's gonna,
bro, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
That's gonna be coming soon. I haven't even got it back. Like it's very fresh. Like I just locked it in with them. So I'm announcing it here with you first, man.
Man, I'm excited.
I'll definitely send it over to you when it's done, man. I'm very excited too, because like I've worked with a lot of big secular artists in the past, and coming into the Christian hip hop space, I wanted to do that as well. Like I wanted to link up with artists who are new to me, and I know I'm new to them too. I ran into someone in Austin the other day, one of my CHH people that I've never met before, and he was like, "Man, I know you from the song that you did with Zero," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And so now I kind of want to network with more CHH artists, like whether it be upper tier, mid tier, even independent, like myself, who's trying to come up. But yeah, man, 1K Few was someone who I've been trying to reach out to a lot of people, and he made the process so easy, man. So it kind of brought me back to what I used to do. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, he's always fire. Like his features, he goes just as hard on his features. I've said this in many videos that I've done, like for his stuff. Like he's just such a good feature artist.
Yeah,
he'll go as crazy as he does in his own music. I'm excited to hear this.
I saw you had a picture with him. You went out to Atlanta?
Yep. Well, it wasn't in Atlanta. It was the Pray for Atlanta tour. He came to Nashville. So that's the Nashville stuff. Yep.
Got you. Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to that. I like making more like I've always been, I told you I listen to a lot of Christian R&B. So I'm always looking for singers and like even like the melodic sound. Of course, I did the song Counted Me Out, which is more like a type of vibe, but like my personal preference would be like to do a lot of worship music, to get a lot of collaborations with singers. There's a lot of people that I listen to now who I'm kind of like in scouting mode at this point, because I'm kind of seeing like who I want to reach out to for the album. And like I said, they don't really know me yet, so it's kind of like I'm getting my feet in the door. But yeah, man, I've really enjoyed it, man. I've really enjoyed this whole year. Just got baptized again at the end of the year on New Year's Eve, so that was kind of my dedication. So yeah, we're in April now, probably in May at the time of this video release. And yeah, man, I'm excited to see where this goes. I think this is going to be a very good summer, and I plan on having the album out by the summer, hopefully. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was just listening to your album that's on Spotify. I was just listening to that at work.
That one,
It was fire, and it's exactly like you're saying. There were a lot of great singers on there,
right.
and then you were doing more of just like the rap, after the hook, which was singing. So I loved the sound of it.
Yeah,
There were some bangers on there.
the Purpose album. Yeah, I had Zero, Kurt Cobain, Devin the Dude, who are all Houston, Texas legends. I mean, Kirko was more mainstream, but
Mm-hmm.
like that was kind of my thing. Like I was doing gospel music, but I was working with secular artists, bringing them into the gospel world, and
Oh, I
took
see.
a lot of heat for that. I know that Lecrae is someone who's taking backlash for that.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
but, like,
1K Few also did that on his new album.
right,
So
exactly.
yeah,
So it's just like I wanted to do gospel music, but I didn't know enough about CHH yet. I wasn't there yet, so I was still doing it. I started that album, and the thought process was in 2019, and I actually recorded the first song right before COVID. So like March of right before COVID in 2020, and that kind of went into that. But now I'm trying to work with more only preferably CHH artists, but we'll see, man. We'll see how everything goes. But I'm excited, really excited about getting into album mode and putting together like a solid Christian hip hop project.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here for it. I'll be ready to react to it like the second it drops.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, hopefully by the summer, man. But yeah, man, let's get back to you, man. Like, tell me about your journey. Obviously, you're young. You said you were a senior in 2017.
11th grade. I was.
Oh, you're a junior.
When I was 17, I was in 11th grade. Yeah, I graduated back in 2020 or 2021.
So
yeah,
I'm 10 years older than you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 32.
Oh wow. Okay.
I graduated in 2010. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about your journey. You could start at your childhood. You could start wherever things started, wherever your journey started with God, man. I'm really curious to know how you got to where you're at now.
Yeah. I'm super excited to share my testimony because I've only shared it like once to another person, and that was recently. Oh wow. I was at like a young adult group, and I don't know like how deep or anything that was compared to what I'll probably say here. It'll be a little more in depth. But yeah, growing up, I had a great childhood. Grew up in a Christian home. You know, my mom and dad, both Christians. We went to church every Sunday. I was at youth group, like I was a youth group kid. And you know, honestly, there were times in my childhood, like I got baptized when I was like 8. And there were times that I do think that like I truly did believe in God. But most of the time growing up, it was more just like, you know, I was at church. I just knew about God. I didn't have a relationship, like a true relationship with him. So I'd say probably like 1 or 2 years ago is when the shift really started. And I started being more intentional about actually starting a relationship with Christ. Like back, I want to say like a year and a half or 2 ago, before I got the job that I'm here, that I have right now, I got really sick for almost 6 months. I got like a bad tick-borne illness, called Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever. And so I was I couldn't work. I was in bed for like 6 months. For like 3 of those months, the doctors had no idea what was going on. And you know, I was super sick. I thought I was actually going to die. Like it was really bad. But finally we found out through some like special blood work tests that I had this tick-borne illness. And during that 6-month time period, I was in bed. I wouldn't say anything super harsh happened, but I think that was kind of the very gradual start of me actually developing like a good relationship with God. And especially over this last year, I've made some really good, like, honestly, I never really had anyone like super close to me as a friend growing up. I was homeschooled, and I didn't really go to like an actual school. And even at youth group, the first youth group I went to was very small. There were like probably 10 people there. And then most of them weren't even my age. They were either way younger or way older than me. And then we switched churches. And this youth group, the church that we're at now, has like 200 kids. So it was a very overwhelming experience. So I was kind of shy and didn't really know how to, I was just kind of a shy and awkward kid back in like 11th and 12th grade when I moved to that church, because that's really the only time I had the opportunity to talk to people and stuff outside of school. So all that to say, I just, over this past year, I've gotten some really good close friends, like 4 from work, because the job I have is a faith-based company, so most of the people there are Christians, which is nice. But they're all my age, which is something I've never had before, and they're all very on fire for God and have just encouraged me and, helped me in my walk. So, yeah, I'm in a really good place with God right now, relationship-wise, and I'd say probably, just over the last couple years is when I've really, been, reading. I read the Bible for the first time front to back last year. Yeah. And at the beginning of this year, I've already read through it again. So it's just stuff like that. I'm just, I would probably consider myself a new Christian just because I don't know all the answers, but I'm in the process of really studying the word, and I'm just kind of starting that journey right now. So.
Well, it's like people always say, man, we never stop learning. No one knows everything. No one knows it all.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep reading, keep learning. And I'm the same way, man. I try to learn as much as I can from reading, from listening to other people who kind of specialize in one area that I'm trying to learn about. Because I know there's people that know a little bit about everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you really hone in on what you're trying to learn, and, then you can help other people learn too. Yeah, man, we kind of have similar testimonies, man, because I knew about God. I had a great childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not homeschooled, but my kids are homeschooled right now, actually. Or my oldest is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew of God too, and I had the morals. There was certain things that I was convicted on, and but I didn't know why. I just thought I was a good kid,
yeah.
And then I think. Like you said, I knew of him. I really didn't go to church that much because my dad was so much in church when he was little that when he got older, he just got burnt out. He was just man, he was real faith-based. We had conversations a lot, but as far as being in church, that just wasn't us.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took me a little bit. I was 19 too when I had my first awakening. And that's when I stopped doing the lustful music at that time. And then it went into okay, I'm going to be a positive rapper. I wasn't a Christian artist, but I was kind of how, those rappers that say, I think NF says it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone like him is I'm a Christian who's an artist, or I did everything. I said everything.
Mm-hmm.
So just to kind of, I didn't want the label, and I kind of saw the backlash that other people were getting, especially as my career went on. And I was I'm not about to go through that. I know I'm a good person, and when people are criticizing you, now I get hate comments all the time. And so it kind of took me to build that strength up, that godly strength, that boldness to be man, I don't care what people think. I'm gonna do this for God.
Yeah.
And I like how you said too, I didn't really have too many people around me that were walking this walk. I'm an only child. So I didn't have brother, sister. I lost my dad in 2019. So once I lost him, I was very isolated. I was married with kids, but it's hard when you got to be the leader. You got to be the man. And so I was in isolation. And then up until the end of last year, that's when I linked up with the CHH Austin, my brothers and sisters out there.
Yeah.
Because I just moved to Temple, which is an hour away from where I lived before, a little closer to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed that, though. I needed that brotherhood to help me get back to that, because I didn't drop any music last year at all. And now it kind of got me on fire again. Okay, I got to get back to what I was doing. I know how to market. I know how to network with artists and reach out. I'm not scared to reach out to Cray. I'm not scared to reach out to these guys, man. I'll reach out. What we do is whatever, but I'll reach out. And I'll try to get people, I've had people on the podcast, athletes and things like that. So I'm always trying to reach out, always trying to connect and build and grow. And so coming into that Christian hip hop space, I was like, oh man, this is going to be fun. It's going to be, I thought it was going to be easy, and it hasn't been. It's been really difficult. But I feel like a lot of people are more guarded in the Christian industry because they don't want just anyone coming in and trying to infiltrate the Christian hip hop scene, which I get.
Yeah.
Because they don't know me, like I said. So you kind of have to prove yourself. They're like testing your spirit, like the Bible says. And so it's like, okay, once I figured that out, it's like, okay, I'll slow my roll a little bit and kind of, prove myself that I'm really for God. Like I'm really doing this for God now. There's no going back to where I was before. Like I know what that's like. I've already lived that. So where someone might be tempted to leave and go that route, like since I've already done it, it's like, man, I would never go back. I would never go back to that. And so that's what I kind of tell like younger people too that are Christian hip hop artists or just Christian, doing Christian things like yourself. Like, man, like I've done that. I can be the first one to tell you, like there's nothing out there for you. And when you come back here, I was just giving a testimony at a performance the other day. It's like you realize this is where you should have been the whole time. Like I should have been here, but without everything I went through, I wouldn't have the testimony that I had either. So, do I regret it? Maybe not, because like I said, I can share testimony now.
Yeah, you got a good testimony.
Yeah, and I didn't have, like when I was 21 or like your age, I didn't have much of a testimony. Like I had been through some breakups. I had been through some a little depression at that time, a little alcohol issues, but like it was between that year where you're at now, kind of the 21, 22 range, until like my upper 20s when I lost my dad. So like even recently, like though that's when it got rough. That's when depression hit hard. That's when, the alcoholism was at like I broke it. Then when my dad passed, I relapsed. So like that was hard because it's like, what do I do? And that's when my faith grew, just leaning on God, praying more. And like you said, reading the Bible cover to cover. I worked overnight, so I was listening to the Bible cover to cover.
Well, yeah, that's what I was doing most of the time too. Because at work, I just, that's an 8-hour day, you can read a lot or listen to a lot of the Bible,
especially the New Testament.
Yeah,
especially the New Testament. Once you start getting past the gospel, it goes by pretty fast. And so, like, I would start at the beginning, just kind of work my way through, kind of start over, and kind of go back and forth sometimes. But once I would hear things that I never heard before or read before, so I'm like, oh, and that like got me on fire. I remember I was just on fire for God. Yeah. And but yeah, man, that's kind of what led me back to music and doing it for God now. So, but yeah, man, what was some struggles that you faced along the way? What was something that you had to overcome through your faith in your faith walk?
I'd say, so I didn't say this in the beginning of my testimony, but probably around 12th grade, up to that point, when I was listening to music, it was all Christian rap. Because, before I listened to Christian rap in middle school, I was just listening to like the radio, the Christian radio. But once we got Spotify put on our phones, my parents were pretty strict. Like it was, if I wanted to listen to any new artist, they would have to listen to the song and everything first. But once, like, I bought my first phone in 12th grade when I was 18, and that's when like all the restrictions were gone. And on Spotify, I was like really, like totally unfiltered, just listening to all the rap, the mainstream rap going on at the time. And at the time as well, I was kind of struggling with feeling lonely, like super lonely, because up until 12th grade, I was homeschooled for most of the time and pretty lonely, just like on my own in that aspect.
Are you a child too?
No, I have 3 other siblings.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so in 12th grade, I went to technically like a school for the first time in a long time. It was like, they call it a tutorial for homeschoolers. It's like you can take as many classes as you want. In my senior year, I only had like 2 classes I had to take, so I just went there, so that I could graduate with like a class. But yeah, I struggled a lot with like trying to fit in and stuff, and like the loneliness felt even worse because I felt like I didn't fit in. All the other kids had been friends for years, so it was just hard. And on top of that, listening to the music I was listening to did not help at all.
Right.
And I just realized like the effect that even if you don't think that some of the music that is in like the mainstream rap is bad, there are some okay songs here and there, but like if that's all you're listening to and you're not listening to, like I say this even about Christian rap, if all I'm listening to is Christian rap, sometimes that's not even healthy in certain aspects. Like sometimes it's okay to take a break and either just listen to the word of God like I do at work sometimes, or just like focus on something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just like the way that music affected me was just crazy. Like I felt super lonely, and that when I was going down a really like deep rabbit hole of things I shouldn't have. And so now, like 3 years later, I'm really trying to encourage other people, especially like people that were my age back then. Like, you know, there's good music out here, and there's also, you know, I'm a follower of Christ, so I have to share the gospel too through that. So that's what I'm hoping to do in the channel. I know at the end of my videos, I usually kind of ask for prayer requests. And also, I mean, I've had people in the DMs like test me in my faith too, like, you know, check me if I'm actually a real Christian. I'm sure, I don't know if you've gotten that yet, but as a Christian artist, like, it's crazy. Some people like really think you're out here doing something. Like, I mean, I am a Christian, but like people think sometimes that just like in the comment sections that you're not a Christian, that you're like a devil worshiper, and I'm not. Like, I hope I never come across that way, because that's never the intention. But yeah,
it can get pretty ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Going back to how you said about music, I know how influential music is, and that's why I take it so serious. Because I used to listen to, even when I was depressed, like, you know, when you're depressed, you kind of listen to depressing type music.
Yep.
You know, when you're like someone said, when you're going to fight, you listen to like some Lil Jon or whatever.
Yeah.
Something that's going to get you something
Yeah.
that's going to get you, you know, in that mood. So it's like whatever mood you're trying to be in, that's usually what people are listening to. So when people are trying to worship God, obviously we're listening to worship music.
Yep.
And so like with my music now, I'm trying to make every song, or at least most songs, if they're not about like my testimony, even that though, kind of, it still glorifies God. But I want it to be God-centered. I want it to be like the album's God-centered. I don't want to go left or right like how some artists have done. And like I said, I've already done that. Like I've already I started off just doing love songs. Like that's what I did. I started off doing love songs, and then it kind of went into like I'm grinding, getting money, you know, forget the haters type stuff. Like never cursed in any song I've done in 14 years of music. Never cursed. Even prevented other artists from cursing until a certain point. And then I kind of let that go, and that's when my downfall started happening. But yeah, man, music is so influential. Like, that's why it's so important as an artist, as for me, myself, to put out a message that I want people to understand or to get. Like, I know people need this. I don't want it to be something that's just there. I want it to be something relatable, like a testimony, or something that makes somebody want to read their Bible or want to worship God. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to reach everybody. I'm trying to reach people that are Christians who may be struggling, people that are kind of on the fence, people, even unbelievers, like, because people know me from the past, and, you know, now they're still kind of looking at what I'm doing. So hopefully they see, you know, what I'm doing now, and then they can kind of understand like why I chose this route, why I chose to really follow God. Because I'm like you, I'm very, I take it you're an introvert. You're kind of,
100%.
Yeah. So I'm very introverted. Like I don't really, I'm not really outspoken. Like when it came to certain things, But like when it came to God, the Bible, you know, Christian, I guess apologetics in a sense, I was very vocal always. Like even when I was doing secular music, like I was still vocal. And now it's just got even more. I'm even more vocal now. So it kind of gives you that push, that purpose that you need. Like even this, like doing podcasts, and like there was something I always thought about doing, but I didn't have the confidence, one, and I didn't have the, you know, the push to do it. But then like once I started doing it for God and to glorify Him, I was like, okay, I can do it. You know, I'll try.
Yeah.
And then now it's just getting more comfortable with this. So that's kind of where I'm at too with that.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I was watching there was like a 10-minute video that you posted on YouTube a few weeks ago. It was just like a short kind of, I can't remember what it was called, but you were basically just explaining the ministry in that like 10-minute video.
Yeah.
And you were saying how like doing something like this was never something that you thought of doing.
Never.
Or just like you thought you would be comfortable doing. And I'm the exact same way. Like growing up, I was a super quiet like kid, and I never liked to have attention on me. But especially like over this past year, I know like I have all the tools to make the videos, and I'm confident in what I do. So like, I mean, I know sometimes I do feel a little self-conscious about my reactions, just because you know, the people that I looked up to as reactors were like I'm Dante, and let me think of a few others, like Screwface John, he's another one, and they just have outrageous reactions, and I'm just not that guy. There's a Christian reactor, his name is Kevy K. I'm pretty good friends with him. He's also out in Texas.
Okay.
But like he does Christian rap reactions, and he also has like the crazy reactions, and I'm more just like a chill, like, I don't know. I'm just more like listening to it, reviewing it, and giving my thoughts on it. I'm not really out here doing anything crazy like some people are. And I used to be a little self-conscious about that. Like, what if people are looking for that crazy reaction? But, you know, I know that this is like, you know, I'm not going to change just for the camera and just do an absolutely crazy reaction. But, yeah, like that's something that I'm confident in now. Like I used to, on Instagram, I would never share, because I have two different Instagrams. I have my main one and my Spiritual Lemonade account. I used to be terrified that someone on my main account that I'm friends with or know from my real life, I used to be terrified that they would find my Spiritual Lemonade account. But now it's like I'll post my reels and stuff on my main account from Spiritual Lemonade, and I'm fully confident in what I'm doing. So
yeah, no, I get it, man. I'm the same way. I'm not changing, you know, I don't know how to be something I'm not. I don't know how to fake the funk. I don't know how to do that. I do want to get into like acting and stuff, but like
oh, really?
That's different. Like, you know, when you're being yourself, like I don't know how to put on a persona. Like I don't know how to do that. Like when the camera's on, you know, I'm locked in. I'm like you. I'm calm. I don't do anything over the top. I'm not really the TikToker.
Yeah.
I like all the stuff I post on TikTok are usually taken from videos like this. So I haven't got to like that point of it's just a confidence thing, man. Like now I feel more confident because it's like I call it Godfidence. Like it's coming from God. It's kind of like boosting you. It's kind of like, who cares? Like, and you know, watching other people, believe it or not, man, watching other people do things, it's like, man, they're doing this, man, I got to do something, like, you know, and that kind of, you motivate me. Like, don't take it, you know, you motivate me, and I'm sure you motivate a lot of other people. So I hope that motivates you. Yeah. Because I need that too sometimes. Like when someone comments on a video or someone tells me something privately, like, man, I like that video you did. Okay, thank you. Because it's like, makes me want to go do another one. Yeah. As before, you know, it wasn't like that. I wasn't getting, you know, the type of reactions that I thought I needed to keep going. So I was like, should I be doing this? And so like with music, it was always different because it was more behind the scenes. Like, yeah, I would record and put stuff out, but I wasn't even the vlogger type. Like there's not really too much out there in a span of 12 years that I filmed, besides like there's a few behind the scenes things, but like now I kind of document more stuff. I just wasn't the type to be on camera like that. I wasn't the type to think about it. Like I would have these cool moments, but no one was filming and I wasn't filming. So
Yeah.
dang, I didn't get that on camera. So yeah, man, I relate to that. I relate. You're not alone. With the self-conscious thing and just feeling like, do people enjoy this type of stuff? But believe it or not, you're out there motivating somebody, and I hope I am too. I hope.
Oh yeah. No, today at work, I listened to your album, and then most of the rest of the day, I was just watching all your interviews, like your podcasts, and I loved them. Like all the sports players that you were doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my younger brother. He's super into baseball. Like he knows all the even college players and everything. He's also into football, and I think he'll love your conversations with some of the guys that you were talking to. So
yeah, man, thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's how it kind of started. It started off with like faith in football, then faith in just athletes. Now kind of started a solo series where I'm doing them by myself because it's hard to get them to come on. And I think they're the same way. They're real private, and I'm sure they get tons of requests to do media interviews and things like that. So I kind of I still reach out from time to time, but I kind of backed off a little bit because like once you realize how many podcasts are out there, and I don't want to be the pest. I don't want to be the guy that's always in people's like, hey, you want to. So I kind of when it happens, it happens. So. But yeah, I have a couple things in the works right now. I'm trying to get going. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But thank you for that, man. I'm glad you watched them, and yeah, they were all cool, man. Just for them to come on and give me their time and share stuff that a lot of people don't see. Like I know Cody Bradford and Andy Isabella both said that they have Bible studies with their teammates and stuff. Like I'm like that's cool. Like you'll never hear about stuff like that. So. It's kind of like a look behind the scenes, and that's kind of what I was going for with that too. Yeah. Man, bro, like what is something, let's get into some Christian hip hop topics. I'm all right on your take because I think you know more about the space than I do. Obviously, you do a lot of reactions, so you listen to a lot of music. Out of everybody that you listen to, can you give me like a top 5 of like your favorite artist, or like even top 10 of like the artist that that's who you listen to the most? That's who you think is the best in Christian hip hop?
Yeah, I'll do my best because it changes a lot.
Yeah.
But consistently, do you know who No Big Deal is?
Yep.
No Big Deal.
Yeah.
He's always been my number one because he's also kind of like, he lives pretty close to where I am.
Okay.
And I've met him several times. He's super nice.
Yeah.
So No Big Deal is number one. Okay. And then the other people change a lot. I'm gonna have to go with Not Clyde. Do you know who he is? Yep. 350.
I've seen that name. I can't tell you much about him. I've seen that name.
Yeah.
Okay.
350. His brother A3.
Okay.
And then who am I going to say? I don't like saying Andy Mineo and Lecrae. They can't be in my top 5 because everyone knows who they are.
Us too, yeah.
I'm going to go 1K Few on this one. He's always been in my Spotify Wrapped, so yeah, 1K Few.
Cool. Yeah, 1K stood out to me. I think I just started getting familiar with Deal. I watch a lot of his videos, him and KB, and the whole indie tribe thing. Like I'm telling you, I'm just now getting really like into. But once I get in, like I'm all in. Like I'm trying to figure out like different things. So yeah, he's definitely a dope artist. I would love to have him on the album. So
yeah, bro, that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, No Big Deal is a good one. I think for me, like the artists I listen to the most, I don't know about a top 5, man. That would be tough.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm missing a lot of people. I think KB's up there for me.
Oh, yeah, KB.
Deal's up there. Fuse up there. I know. Kieran the Light.
Yeah.
Is like, as far as a rapper, Kieran the Light is probably my favorite rapper.
Yeah, he's got a pretty strong fan base, too. I don't think I've reacted to him on the channel, but he's the most commented person, like, in my DMs on Instagram and on my channel. Like, people ask me to react to him. I just haven't I haven't seen that he's dropped anything recently,
Yeah.
but he is. Yeah, I know who he is.
I know he just said he had an album done. He didn't say when he was dropping it, but I know he's got one done. I've reached out to him as well because he's someone I would love to get on this project. I've talked to him a little bit through DM, not too much, but hopefully when he gets time, man, we can make that work because he's probably my favorite rapper. I don't know about all artists, but like rapper wise, like for a verse or something, I think Kieran is dope. I like Mike Teasy a lot.
Yep.
But yeah, man, like there's a lot of people out there. I'm just a fan. Like I'm really a fan of this space.
Yep.
I'm starting to like really get in tune with more. I'm kind of diving deeper into their catalogs, I guess, not listening just to the big song that they got. Listen to all of their songs and kind of see like, you know, what they're really about. And even you hear a lot of testimony through music.
Oh yeah.
Kind of get to know the person. Like, man, I heard that song you dropped and they were talking about what happened in their life. So that's relatable too. So, and that's kind of how I do my music too. So yeah, that's somebody that I would like to, or some people that I would like to work with for sure. I don't want to rush this album, but I definitely want to get some people a part of it that I really want to work with.
Yeah.
Is there a specific collaboration that you would like to see that you might not have seen yet? Like, is there like a couple artists out there that you'd be like, man, if they would just get on the same song together, that would be fire.
Yeah, that's a good question. Who do I want to see on a song together? Let me look at my playlists real quick.
Yeah.
Because I know that a lot of, like, the Christian rap community is really close with each other. So a lot of times artists will collab with each other.
Right.
But,
yeah, there's a lot of collaborations out there. Usually you can kind of tell who's really cool with each other just because they have multiple songs together.
Yeah.
So like you kind of see like the kind of like the brotherhood that they have and who's close with who. And, but yeah, like you said, you kind of see that. Like if you go down, if it's an artist who has a big catalog, they pretty much work with a lot of the artists that are in the Christian space, at least at the top or at the upper level.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm kind of curious too, because I'm just now getting in tune with this. So I'm really figuring out like different sounds, who's from where. Like I know Miles is from the Bay Area, so he's got more of that Bay sound.
Yeah.
You got like the Big Breezes, and I think he's out in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's from like the South. I don't know.
I think he's from Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Moved to Houston or something.
Yeah, he may have.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I know him, like Scooty Wop, like that whole vibe. But yeah, I'm a fan. Like that's all I listen to now. I don't really listen to secular music. And I'm really into with the Christian rap now. So that's how I had to get familiar with stuff, because I sat with like a friend of mine. I was like, who do you listen to? And he kind of gave me a list. And at that time I hadn't heard of probably 90% of the people on there, so I had to kind of go research. Yeah. And so now I'm connecting with those people. Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to pick though, I would say probably. Do you know who Zonti is?
Yeah.
So I'd go Zonti and KB. Okay. I feel like that'd be a good song.
Yeah. And now that he just signed, he might get a song with him. I don't know how they feel about each other. I don't know how politics and all things like that.
I know they're both from Florida. So
okay. Yeah. I know who Zonti is. I think that might have been who I was gonna react to actually when he's dropped that album. I think that's who I was do a reaction to, and that's when I found your channel. I think that's what it was. That'd be a dope collab. And there's a lot of people that have been doing it for a long time. Like the funny thing is people would always compare me to Lecrae, and not in a good way. Oh, they because I was doing like positive music, but I was working with like the secular artist or whatever, and so like people, and especially when I did that recent album, there was a comment, I don't remember where it was, but they're like, "Oh, you're another Lecrae," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And then I kind of understood what they were saying. Yeah, I took more heat from that album because it was like, "Are you a Christian hip hop artist or not?" And I'm at the time I was like, I mean, I'm doing Christian music, and then it was just like a whole thing. And I know that's what he's gone through a lot in his career, so I relate to him now. And he was kind of a reason I told you before I stayed away from Christian hip hop, was because of him. Not anything that he did, but of what they were doing to him.
Yeah.
So like I would love to have a conversation with him and just kind of pick his brain and kind of understand like what that was like for him, because he was really put on that pedestal. He was kind of put on, he was like the face of a whole brand. And that's tough, man, because a lot comes with that. So as soon as you mess up, here they come. As soon as no matter what you've done right, no matter, all the things that you do right, it's kind of like you said, you get the DMs and you get the comments. And to go back what you asked me, like, bro, I've gotten some crazy DMs and I've gotten some crazy comments. But that kind of helped me too, because I was like, man, it kind of built up my that boldness a little more, because at first, it bothered me. Yeah, it really did. And there was a lot of lost sleep over things like that. But at the same time, as it went on, you kind of get used to it. Like, at the same time, you get used to it. You know your heart with God, and you know what you're about, and what you're trying to do. So like when people start doing that, it's just kind of like I don't block them or nothing. I just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
But that's how it started at first with music. Like people saying like your music is trash, or like, the video is trash or whatever. It's kind of like you take that to heart. But then after time, you're like you have people telling you so many good things about your music that's helping them. It's kind of like those people don't matter. And it's kind of like the same thing in the faith walk. Like you're always going to have people who look at you and judge you, how you dress or how you, the things you do. But it's like, what am I really doing? Like, test my spirit. Like, if you want to test my spirit, come on. Like, you can test it. Yeah. And like I told you before, that's kind of what I guess I'm in a prove it stage right now. I guess I'm trying to, prove myself as a Christian hip hop artist. And even as a Christian by itself, I deleted my Spotify. I started over. So all the songs that I had on there before are gone. All the listeners that I had before are gone. Yeah. And then even the YouTube stuff, like I deleted a lot of videos, privated a lot of videos, just because I wanted, when people come to the channel or they go to my Spotify, or if they're listening to a rotation of my songs or videos, I don't want them to see that and think that's me still. If it was me, we could talk about it, but like, I don't want them to, how people are. Perception is everything. So if they see you doing a video with someone smoking, like, oh, he's smoking. Like, no, I wasn't smoking. I was in a video with someone smoking. So the stuff is still out there somewhere, but it's not on my channel. And that's why I took all that stuff down too. Yeah, everything on my old channel was taken down. Everything that I have out is all on Spiritual Lemonade. But there were, like, towards the end of 2020, towards the end of my first channel, I was getting into some secular rap. And so I just deleted everything from that. I mean, I got some attention from it too. Like, that's what the goal on the first channel was, just to, I guess, be famous, but that never ended up happening. But like with this new channel, Spiritual Lemonade, that's not the goal at all. I don't even care really about the numbers. I mean, I have goals that I want to hit for sure, but it's not like I'm not being validated by the numbers, or even like with comments. If they're good comments, then I'll reply. And if there's bad comments, I'll either like them and keep it pushing, or I'll respond if it's necessary. But yeah. I'm very passive aggressive. So like if someone comments, I'll say something smart to them. Like, I'll be like, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Or, I mean, and actually I've done that pretty recently on a few comments, and they actually take it back. Like, they're sorry. Yeah. Which is funny when that happens. Yeah. Cause they see like, oh man, like, yeah. I'm not on the video. I'm not even on the videos talking crazy. It'll be like, I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's really on the shorts. I think the shorts get more, they get more traction, I think. So more comments anyway. Yeah. Like somebody will say something about, really, it's not even me. They'll be tagging the faith. They'll be tagging, Jesus or God. And like, you'll say something like, man, I'm praying for you. I hope you find like peace, and I hope you find Jesus in your life. And they'll be like, they'll kind of backtrack a little bit slowly, and they'll say, well, why does this happen? Da da da. And then you'll come back and be like, man, like, you know, God, and you'll explain to them, you give them a scripture or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'll see the tone just kind of dwindle.
Just shift a little bit. Yeah.
It came from like, man, forget y'all, da 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 da, to, man, I just don't know. Like, so I think a lot of people are just lost. I think a lot of people don't want to be where they're at. And we just gotta. My focus is like, I want to help those people. Like, I don't kick nobody out, because God never kicked me out. God kept His hands on me and allowed me to come back to this space. And so, like, when people do that, like, I don't really get mad at them. I feel kind of sorry for them, and like, I want to understand why. Why do you feel that way? Like, where is this coming from? And you know, hopefully when people listen to the music, my music, regardless, or anybody else out there, then that helps them. You know, that gives them something to listen to. And a lot of people, like you said, people would listen to Christian rap and it gets that label of corny or whatever. But then when you listen to like certain artists that you even named, it's like, dang, like these aren't secular artists. Like, no, they're Christian artists.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of good music out there. There's a lot of talented individuals out there, and hopefully by this time next year, I've connected with a lot more people in this space for sure.
I mean, that's one thing. Like this past year, I've also been doing as part of this channel. Is going to as many concerts in my area that I can. Yeah. I've probably been to, I want to say between like 7 and 10 over this last year. And it was just a great way to network. Do you know what Smoke Fest is?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's Indie Tribes Festival that happens in Nashville. Yeah. I'll be there this year. And last year, bro, like there were a lot of people performing over the course of the 2 days that the festival was going on. But like when people weren't performing, like even people like Lecrae and What Up RG, all those people were in the crowd and just walking around. And like you could go talk to them if you wanted to. And it was a great way for me to meet and talk to a bunch of people. I got some phone numbers, and it was a great way to network. And like, that's one thing that I was like, man, I got to start doing more of that. And so I've been doing that this year, and I plan to do that more this year as well. But that's a big thing, is like just connections. And like one small connection can lead to a big connection. It's just how it works. And yeah, I've been enjoying going to the concerts and everything this past year and growing the channel that way. So,
man, I've really enjoyed performing at these concerts too, and these events. I've done more events probably this year, and we're only in April now, than I did in the past 2 to 3, 4 years in secular combined.
Really?
Yeah, man. And it was places like these raunchy clubs, like, and the bad thing is about the secular world, at least in most cases, you're paying to perform. Like, you're paying $50, $100 a slot, and the slots only be like 10, 15 minutes. Usually 10 minutes. And then, but now, like, in the Christian space, they'll ask me, like, hey, is 20 minutes enough? And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then, obviously, there's a lot more ministering, and there's a lot more talking involved, and which can get, that takes a lot of time depending on how you do your sets. But I love it, man. Like, I genuinely love it. The events have all had great turnouts. And I think it really surprised me, at least at first, because I guess just coming from that secular space, like, you don't expect events like that to be, like, we're performing at, like, parking lot. Like, I have an event this Saturday, actually, in a parking lot. And Vanilla Ice is performing across the street.
Really?
Wow. So it's going to be, like, Vanilla Ice over here, and then we're going to be over here. And hopefully that crowd, I think that was the plan. Like, they want the crowd to kind of linger over. But like doing parking lots, doing parks, like just a normal outdoor park, doing a church. I just performed at a church in Austin 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Like, all these events are just beautiful. Obviously it breaks out into a worship. They have the altar calls, they have testimonies, and just like when you see that, it's just amazing. I haven't been to like a big concert yet, like how you're talking. Yeah. But I plan on going to, especially this summer, I plan on moving around a lot, and hopefully one day I'll be involved in some of them concerts.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm excited. I definitely want to come out there. I've been to Nashville a couple times. My aunt used to live in Germantown, Tennessee. So we like drove through there a few times.
Yeah.
This was like I was little. But like, so it's nothing for me to go on the road and drive out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can hit up some concerts, man, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're ever out here doing a concert in Nashville, I'll be there. And also, like, I've said this to so many people, like Smokefest, even just to go and watch. Yeah. It's a great, like, experience. I was there last year for the first time, and I'll be going every year that they do it now.
When is that?
It's, I think, August, either 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th. It's a Friday and Saturday in August.
Nice, man. What is something that we can do? What is something that you think as a fan of like Christian hip hop artists, what is something you think we could do better? Is something that we can improve on? Is there something that we could do more of? Like you want to see more of this type of content, more music videos, like behind interviews, behind the scenes? What is something that you would like to see more of or that you enjoy the most?
From like an artist like you, like what I want to see from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that.
I mean, it could be from you or just any artist, but I think this is something I've been noticing, especially this past year, that has been getting better. And that, like, if you were to ask me the same question a year ago, would be the answer, is the quality and content on Instagram, like how you promote yourself.
Right.
I feel like a lot of these artists, especially up-and-coming artists, they're doing a way better job at just like doing the short, promotional thing for the song that drops. One thing I don't like is when an artist does like Christian rap is corny, like with the big letters. I know some people do that, and I know it works sometimes, but I mean, you're just basically asking for some hate comments in the comment section.
Clickbait.
Yeah. But I mean, I know a lot of people do that. But that would be one thing I don't want to see. Which I have been seeing less of that. And then also, what's the other one? Oh yeah, like what you were saying, interviews. I think stuff like this kind of content is really good to get to know the person a little better, more than just the music.
Yeah.
And I have seen some interviews, like Rapzilla does a lot of interviews, but other than that, like, I mean, my friend Kevy K, he's another YouTuber. He has a couple interviews on his channel, but like I want to see more consistent stuff like that, just so that we can kind of know more about these artists in the Christian space.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I want to get more artists on here too. Especially once I get to work with them, like maybe I'll get K on here, a few on here.
Oh yeah.
Just ask him, because like I feel like I want to ask him questions more of like, because I kind of understand like where he's coming from. Like I wasn't in the streets, but like I grew up around that type of lifestyle, like the that type of lifestyle. So I feel like when a lot of artists like himself, and like I think even like I said, like the Scooty Wops, the Big Breezes, people that are more like on that street level, but they're Christian artists. People look at them like they don't belong here, and it's like, man, like their testimonies are really powerful to the other side of hip hop, especially in the secular world, because that's where they came from. So it's like, they're ministering to these people that maybe someone who hasn't lived that life can't reach out to, they can't relate to that. So that's why I respect a lot of those guys. That's why I I watch a lot of their videos, and I watch interviews a lot too. That's how you, like you said, you kind of get to know the artist. What are they really like? What are they really about? Yeah. So like when people come to my channel, I hope that they see like I'm genuine and I'm really passionate about God. I'm really passionate about music and growing and, connecting and, just kind of getting that, growing that brotherhood, growing the CHH space in itself, and doing whatever I can, man. Just doing whatever I can for God's glory, man. That's why I like KB's slogan, His Glory Alone, because that's what it's about.
HGA.
HGA, that's what it's about, man. His glory alone. And, I sit here sometimes and I struggle with like overthinking a lot. you know, I kind of get in my own head sometimes. Like, man, I need to do this. I need to do this. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I just need to chill. And, you know, I feel like if I do get these connections with other artists, they can kind of help me with that. Like, man, you don't got to stress yourself out about certain things. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think just getting older, like I said, I'm 32 now, 3 kids. I've been through a lot, you know, especially within these past 5 years. I would say, because my dad passed away when I was 27. So, like, within these past 5 years it's been a ride, man. It's been,
Yeah.
but like where I'm at now, and like you said, I'm in a good place too. I'm in a really good place with God. I definitely want to rededicate my faith to Him by getting baptized again. I did like you. I was baptized when I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it. Like, you know, I don't really remember it that well.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of veered off to the left a lot. So I just wanted to redo that, man. And I want to show people, like, this is what it's about. It's about glorifying God. And, you know, any music that I drop, you know, the new single, really, you know, I'm just looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to hearing it. You'll have to, I mean, I don't know if you'd be comfortable, but like a lot of artists will send me stuff early so that on the day that the song drops, I can get that video out right away. But either way, I mean, I'll check it out to the day it drops. But
you know, I got you. You'll probably be the first one to hear it, man.
Let's go.
As soon as it's done, man, I'll send it to you. But I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. It might be someone else. Might be someone else on there too. So yeah, I'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah, but you're the first person I've told about it. I haven't told anybody besides the producer, and of course him. So yeah, man, you're the first person I told about it. So I'm excited for it, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for sharing your testimony. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about CHH as a whole.